correspondent. Good morning, Karen Travers.
Good morning. I've got my green on today.
There you
It's
go.
easy for me as a redhead, though. It's always St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. Sean
Thank you.
Spicer will look to be in a good mood wearing his green tie yesterday, but
That changed quickly.
he was yelling at you guys. What was going on?
Yeah, he went on a nice 10-minute soliloquy, rant, something, really not backing down. I mean, you have yesterday, this follows the House Intelligence Committee the other day saying that there is no evidence of any wiretapping of Trump Tower. And then yesterday, the Senate Intelligence Committee, the Republican and Democratic leader, saying flat out, couldn't be more clear, we see no indication that Trump Tower was the subject of surveillance. They didn't even just say wiretapping, they said surveillance. And yesterday, the White House just not backing down from this, insisting that the president will still be vindicated when it comes to his claims of the wiretap. He said that the committee had not been fully briefed and had not been in contact with the Department of Justice. And that earned him a very quick response from the top Democrat on the Intel Committee, Mark Warner, who said, we wouldn't have made that statement without having been fully briefed by authorities. So just quite a back and forth yesterday between the Hill and the White House on this very explosive allegation.
A lot of people saying, move on from it. But when you have one president claiming that another president violated the law while trying to wiretap, it's kind of a big deal, and that's kind of what the media does. That's a big allegation.
Yeah,
and
this can't just sit and be not explored. And the White House says they want an investigation, and the Hill Committee said, fine, we'll indulge that. But now it's been nearly 2 weeks, and there is no evidence. They've been briefed by all the relevant parties. Jim Comey has been up on Capitol Hill twice in 2 weeks, and they have been able to come out and say publicly there's no evidence. And I think what Mark Warner was saying is we don't take this lightly. We wouldn't come out without having the proper information or ask the right questions. And there's another layer that's been opened on this. When Sean Spicer went into his defense of the president's statement, he cited this report on Fox News, which was citing unnamed sources that the president, the former president, went around the U.S. Intelligence apparatus and involved the Brits on this. Well, the Brits aren't taking this very well, and they flat out said yesterday that they were not involved in any of this.
Also, Trump, at some point, I think with that Tucker Carlson interview on Fox, said wiretapping was in quotes, meaning surveillance. But there were other tweets where he said, President Obama tapped my phone.
Right. There were 2 tweets where he put wiretapped in quotes, but then others where he said, how low has President Obama gone to tap my phones? And President Obama was tapping my phones. That was not in quotes. And I mean, the fact that that's their defense on this is quotes or not quotes. I mean, this is a really big allegation for the president to make. And I'd also note that he made this Saturday morning in those tweets. He hasn't taken questions from reporters since then. And he's going to today when he sits down after his meetings with the German Chancellor Angela Merkel. There have been questions shouted at him over the past 2 weeks, but he has ignored everything related to this issue.
I want to ask about this Angela Merkel because this is a big meeting, and lots of people are saying that they're calling her the leader of the free world because Donald Trump has decided to take a step back as leadership of the world.
Yeah, I mean, she is a very influential world leader. I mean, she could be considered the most powerful in Europe. And then given the approach that the Trump administration has taken, I think there have been academic arguments that she is the most powerful leader right now. And the president clearly on the campaign trail talking about pulling the U.S. back from some of these foreign engagements and commitments and questioning the commitment to NATO. Well, there also has just been no love lost between these two world leaders. As a candidate, the president blasted her out on the campaign trail. He said at one point she was ruining Germany with her refugee policy. And Merkel hasn't been shy in pushing back. They had a phone call in the days after that first immigration executive order was signed during that weekend when there was all the chaos at the airports. And she made it very clear that she believed the policy was wrong. And according to the German media, she lectured him on this. So this timing, of course, is interesting today for this meeting, given that the travel ban was supposed to go into effect earlier in the week. But of course, that was held up in 2 different federal courts. And I should note, this meeting was supposed to be on Tuesday before the travel ban was put in place, but 2 inches of snow here in Washington canceled it.
Karen Travers, ABC News White House correspondent. Karen, have a good week. Thanks for checking in.
You too. Thank you.
6:57 KTRS.
Hey, remember the